rust issues from the underside. I am sitting in a BMW again, an E46 M3 from the year 2002, and this was the third generation M3. And we actually received it because it had some rust issues from the underside. I already saw the car from the underside, and we actually found some rust on the suspension and subframe, and therefore the car came to us. So we have to fix that, and we maybe go a little bit further than that. We're going to completely remove all the plastic covers, so all the wheel arch and all the plastic covers from the underside. We're going to completely dry ice clean the underside and protect it, so it will live forever. So that's what we're going to do. First going to do is we're going to put it on the lift, remove everything, and going to dry ice clean the underside. So the car is on the lift now, and it has quite a few rust spots, mainly on the suspension and subframe, which I'm going to show you now. You can see here it is quite severely starting to rust up there, with the subframe and suspension. And also the body on some points, like here, it starts rusting. So this, we are going to treat. So we're going to remove all the plastic underbody parts. All newer cars tend to have quite a lot of plastic underbody parts. A lot of dirt will gather behind it, so we have to remove it and clean behind it, because nobody really actually does that. So we're going to remove all the panels, and then we're going to clean it. And if we did that, we're going to treat the rust and protect the car. And we also going to remove the exhaust, but it is quite rusty. The screws are super rusty, so that will be difficult to remove, but so let's try that, and I'll come back to you later on. So the underside of the E46 M3 is now completely finished, and now we put the car in the detail bay, and now it's time to clean up the interior and especially also the leather. So now it is time to clean. We use a strong cleaner for the leather, a microfiber towel too actually, and a leather brush. A brush is my favorite. You can also use a sponge or microfiber, but this is my favorite tool to clean leather. Although I see also quite a lot that people use horsehair brushes, and horsehair brushes are not really for car leather interiors because they are generating heat, and then you quite polish the leather and that is making it shinier, and that is what we not want. It's maybe great for your shoes, but not for car leather. Try it on a little spot and see how the leather reacts. Because the sweat maybe it is painted or repaired somewhere in this past life, and when it is repaired it may come off. So we're going to test a few spots and see how the leather reacts, and after that we're going to completely clean it. After you cleaned your leather, the most important step is to protect your leather with a conditioner to make sure the leather will not dry out and you can enjoy your leather seats for many years. We are going to use the Duresto leather conditioner, and when you buy a leather conditioner, it is very important that you look out for that it is not super glossy, and for a car it happens sometimes that it is very slippery, and you don't want that in leather seats. So when you are buying a leather conditioner, you should look for a conditioner that is not really slippery. It happens quite a lot that leather conditioners become slippery, and when you brake, especially in a car, you move all through the car. Another thing is that maybe 90% of all the leather conditioners in the market tend to be very, very glossy. And now we spend so much time getting the leather really clean and matte finish again. We don't want to get the leather glossy again. So we actually use the Duresto leather conditioner, and that will stay matte. So you keep the original finish of the leather, and that's to me very important. So therefore we're using that. So we're going to leave it now for maybe an hour, then wipe it off. You see it is a bit more glossy now, but we're going to leave this for an hour or so. It will soak deep into the leather. We wipe off, and then in the end it will be the same color as we have started. So some of you already saw this is actually an SMG gearbox. And an SMG gearbox is basically a manual gearbox underneath that is changing gear automatically. So it is a hydraulic system attached to the manual gearbox that is changing gear for you. But you don't have to use the clutch. It is actually just a sort of automatic gearbox. But you can't really compare this with an automatic gearbox. Also not driving it. It is not that smooth as an automatic gearbox. But it can actually change gear very fast. And this was back then really top-notch technology, and everyone wanted to have this. You even had flippers on the steering wheel. And this was 2002, and this was absolutely next level. And a funny thing, sitting in this M3, back in the day you did not have that many M logos. In the interior I can only spot 2, and that's actually here on the steering wheel and on the clock. And that's it. No more than that.
And that is the biggest difference from now and in the early 2000s. So the E46 M3 was a little bit different. The first thing they actually changed is the wheel arches. So they came out a lot wider than the normal E46. At the front and the back they are wider as normal. So the E46 had this little spoiler, and they actually called it the Kearney flap. And this flap was reducing the lift of the car, and therefore the car had more traction. And the fastest way to recognize that you drive behind an E46 M3 are these 4 exhausts. And then obviously we have bigger brakes. So this air duct was designed for cooling the engine. And during testing it came clear that it was not really helping that much, but it stayed on anyway. And this chrome air duct became a very iconic M feature. And the M3 had a special designed side skirts as well. And you had a different front bumper. And in total they actually sold 85,000 cars. So until this year it was the most successful M3. And the name of the engine is, I believe, S54B32.